It's 6:47 p.m. You're at the supermarket, aisle 3, the coffee aisle. White fluorescent light, background music nobody's listening to. Someone behind you, pushing a cart with one squeaking wheel. There are 11 brands of coffee on that shelf. 11, and your hand reaches out. No hesitation, no price check, not one label read, for exactly the same one as last month. You didn't even notice. On the way to the register, you take the long way around to avoid someone you vaguely know. You say, "Good you," to the cashier without waiting for the answer, and tonight, you'll push to tomorrow the one important thing you swore you'd do today. You call that your day, your personality, your choices. What if it's something else? Every one of those moves, the hand toward the coffee, the detour, the broken promise, has been observed, measured, reproduced in a lab, and documented somewhere between 1898 and today. What you call your free will is not some mysterious black box. It's machinery that researchers have been taking apart, piece by piece, for over a century. And for the next 20 minutes, we're opening the hood together. Some of these mechanisms will bother you. One or two might set you free. Have you ever seen a player piano? Those old saloon pianos with a perforated paper roll inside. The roll turns, the holes command the keys, and the piano plays itself, while the cabinet looks perfectly normal. Your behavior works the same way. The cabinet is you, your tastes, your decisions, your style, and inside, a roll punched by your upbringing, your repetitions, your past rewards plays the score, while you're convinced you're improvising. Science gave that role precise names: conditioning, reinforcement, cognitive biases, heuristics. A cognitive bias, put simply, is a hole in the roll, a shortcut your brain takes at the same spot every time, whether you want it to or not. And the history of modern psychology is the history of stubborn people who spent 100 years mapping those holes. It starts in 1898, in a student room cluttered with wooden crates. Edward Thorndike, 24 years old, locks cats inside homemade puzzle boxes. To get out, the cat has to pull a string or push a lever. The first few times, the cat thrashes around at random, then less and less. Thorndike times everything and watches the curves drop. What gets rewarded gets repeated. He calls it the law of effect. 4 words that will carry an entire century. A few years later, in St. Petersburg, a physiologist studying dog digestion notices an annoying detail. The dogs salivate before the food arrives. Ivan Pavlov, Nobel Prize 1904, turns that annoyance into a landmark discovery. And by the way, the bell everyone pictures is half wrong. In his actual protocols, Pavlov mostly used metronomes, buzzers, harmoniums. A ticking metronome and a drooling dog, a neutral signal, paired often enough with a reward, ends up triggering the response all by itself. Hold on to that sentence. It's the exact one buzzing in your pocket with every notification. Then 1948, and this one is my favorite. Honestly, it makes me laugh and unsettles me at the same time. Burha Skinner places hungry pigeons in cages that dispense grain at fixed intervals, every 15 seconds, no matter what the pigeon does, and he observes something wild. The pigeons become superstitious. One spins clockwise, another swings its head like a pendulum, a third wedges its head into one specific corner of the cage, each repeating whatever it happened to be doing the moment the grain dropped. They invented rituals to control a randomness that never depended on them. Your lucky jersey on match nights, the way you reread a message 3 times before sending. The roll, again. By the way, if you're learning something here, a like genuinely helps this channel exist and stay, because it climbs a floor from here. Because in 1961, in a Yale basement, the question changes nature. Stanley Milgram sets up a gray machine with 30 switches, labeled from 15 to 450 volts. and asks ordinary people to shock a stranger every time he gets an answer wrong. The shocks are fake, the screams are recorded, but the participants don't know that. 65% go all the way, 2 out of 3. Not monsters, neighbors, accountants, nurses. All it took was a gray lab coat and a calm voice saying, "The experiment requires that you continue." And in the 1970s, 2 Israeli psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, assemble the puzzle. Your brain runs on 2 systems. System 1, fast, automatic, that's the role. System 2, slow, expensive, that's the one watching the piano play while believing it holds the keys. Kahneman would win the Nobel in economics in 2002 for demonstrating just how often the pianist is asleep. Want a modern proof with numbers, almost comical? In 2007, researcher Michael Bar-Eli analyzed 286 top-level penalty kicks. The statistics are clear. The goalkeeper has a better chance of stopping the shot by staying in the center. Yet keepers dive 94% of the time. Why? Because diving and conceding looks like trying. Standing still and conceding looks like a mistake. Action bias. Doing something, even something less effective, rather than enduring while standing still. Next time you answer an email at 11 p.m. to make progress, think of the goalkeeper. So, the uncomfortable question, if there's a role, where exactly are you in all this? Spinoza answered before anyone in 1674. In a letter to his friend Schuler, he imagines a stone thrown through the air that suddenly becomes conscious. What would it think? That it decided to fly, that it's choosing its trajectory. Men, he writes, believe themselves free because they know their desires and ignore the causes that produce them. 3 centuries later, Thorndike's crates, Pavlov's metronomes, and Skinner's pigeons proved the stone's point. And yet, let me tell you what I believe. After months inside these studies, this discovery is not a sentence. It's a blueprint. Because there is an enormous difference between a player piano nobody knows exists and a player piano whose role you have seen. The first one plays you. The second one you can replay. The same laws that programmed you are reversible. That's practically their definition. What was conditioned can be deconditioned. A bias you know by name loses half its power because you see it coming. I still catch my hand reaching for the same coffee, still dive like the keeper, still spin like Skinner's pigeon. But more and more often, half a second before the move, something wakes up and asks, "Is that you playing? Or is that the role?" That half second might be the only freedom there is. It's enough. So tonight, or tomorrow at 6:47 p.m., at the exact moment your hand drifts toward its habit on its own, stop for half a second. Listen to the mechanism. You never wrote that role. It was punched for you, hole after hole, reward after reward, long before you knew what a choice was. But now you know it's there, and a role can be repunched. Your move. This was Human Code.